Tonight, a federal escalation. The FBI wants to talk to the 6 who told the military to disobey illegal orders.
The statements that Donald Trump made is insightful, incites others.
Plus, a leaked chat reveals America's deal-making between Russia and Ukraine, with a war and a MAGA base in the balance. Also, it's a plan the president's promised for 10 years.
We're going to have a health care plan that's going to be second to none. It's going to be great.
But is the long-awaited plan just an extension of Obamacare? And Ben Shapiro says the right teaches young men to be victims and is pushing them toward extremism.
You should actually pick your ass up and go out and do something useful.
Live at the table, Scott Jennings, Bakari Sellers, Sochi Hinojosa, and Ken Cuccinelli. Americans with different perspectives aren't talking to each other, but here they do. Good evening, I'm Abby Phillip in Washington. Let's get right to what America's talking about. President Trump's quest for vengeance has 6 new targets. The Democratic lawmakers who are behind this video urging U.S. troops to defy illegal orders. A source tells CNN that the FBI is now getting involved and wants to interview each of them. The president has called the Democrats traitors, and he said that they could be executed for seditious behavior. And just yesterday, the Pentagon announced an investigation into Senator Mark Kelly for his role in that video, and he threatened to court-martial him. Now, in a joint statement, the Democrats said today that the president is using the FBI to intimidate, to harass them, but that will not stop them from doing their job to honor the Constitution. So while all of this is happening, predictably, there are threats, many of them. They're receiving bomb threats. There are some audio files of people calling into Senator or Congressman Jason Crow's office, and let me just play those for you.
You deserve to die. I hope you all get murdered. I hope you all get throat slashed.
You disgraced America, and I pray you die today, but not before your family does. I pray they die a painful death. Hurry up and die, you worthless traitor.
You know, we've talked a lot about the prudence of this video, but whether you like it or not, Trump's putting on the table the death penalty seems to have unleashed things like that.
Well, I don't know if that's what unleashed it, but we just saw the intro on the healthcare, and it started with Trump's hyperbole branding of whatever he's talking about. It fits right in that vein. I reject all of that language. I mean, we just went through an election in Virginia where we actually elected an attorney general who threatened some of those things. And, that's what we're electing now today. So, both sides have got to ratchet it down, presidents included there. But look, the fact of the matter is, you zeroed in on Mark Kelly. He's in a unique position. He is covered by the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. I used to do these cases many years ago. And he is, I'll give you an analogy. If 6 generals put out a video today about something Trump did yesterday, just say he sent troops to fill in the blank city to help ICE. And these 6 generals happen to put a video out the next day saying, hey, you don't have to follow illegal orders by the president. They'd be subject to justice under the UCMJ.
So are you saying, but hold on, are you saying that these senators, by simply reiterating what is in the oath for military officers, are subject now to court-martial? Is that really what you're arguing?
So only one of them, and that would be Mark Kelly.
Sure, but let's say any person who is a former military officer, their repetition of what nobody disputes that this is actually the code of conduct for the military. So their repetition of that code of conduct, you think, is enough to court-martial them?
So the UCMJ doesn't work like civilian justice systems. And I hear in your question sort of a presumption that it does.
No, my question is,
you don't need the kinds of intent in the military.
It's a basic factual question about, do you think that this is something that would actually warrant? So it's not like you're saying they're lying. They didn't say you must disobey the president. They didn't say this particular order is illegal and you should disobey it. They just said that you know that your code of conduct says this, and you should remember to not obey illegal orders. And you're telling me today that you believe that that is enough for someone to be court-martialed.
It could be, yes. I'm not saying that I would vote guilty here. I'm saying that there is a legitimate. It
sounds like you're backing away from it.
Because I think the UCMJ would actually protect Mark Kelly because of their rules. Does it give them the right to court-martial somebody for doing something illegal that they find with? And this two vastly different systems. You can get charged for DUI under a regular, Virginia or D.C., Maryland court of law and still have to be subjected to the UCMJ.
Right.
However, asking someone to defy what they believe to be legal court orders not only is protected under the United States Constitution,
correct,
but it's also protected under UCMJ. And Mark Kelly knows that. But I don't think that was the root of your question. What people are mad about when they see this is it's just an abuse of power. It's a waste of resources. Why is our FBI, when we're concerned about X, Y, and Z, trying to get with the Sergeant of Arms to hunt down 6 United States senators?
Yeah.
They're not treasonous. And the other thing is the irresponsibility of the President of the United States. We can bring up whatever candidate, whatever person we want to bring up. There is a higher bar for language for the President of the United States. And for him to utilize the language of being treasonous, to being a sedition, what's the word?
Seditionist.
Seditionist, thank you. To all of these things is a fundamental problem that you talked about adding gasoline to the fire, and that's what the President of the United States did.
What about the FBI investigating the actual threats against these lawmakers? I mean, listen to what Kash Patel, the FBI director, said about that when he was asked whether they're going to get involved in the bomb threats and all the other threats that are coming in.
What goes through my head is the same thing that goes through my head in any case. Is there a lawful predicate to open up an inquiry and investigation, or is there not? And that decision will be made by the career agents and analysts here at the FBI.
Is the FBI getting involved?
Based on the fact that it's an ongoing matter, there's not much I can say.
I think that the idea that the FBI would investigate, we know who made the video.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought that this was the party of free speech. But then now that there are threats, I don't hear Kash Patel saying, hey, we're going to try to find these people who are threatening sitting lawmakers.
That's right. If the FBI is talking to lawmakers, it should only be to talk about the threats that they're receiving and so that they can go and investigate those threats. What's interesting here is if the FBI if the Justice Department were to bring cases against these lawmakers, these would be thrown out. The only reason that the FBI is even looking into this is to chill speech. That's exactly what it is. He wants these people to stop. He wants other members of Congress to he wants to silence Democratic members of Congress and other elected leaders on speaking out against Trump. When it comes to...
Wait, can I ask you a question? Stop what? You said they want them to stop. Stop what?
They want them to stop speaking out.
So you said speaking out against Trump. So you're saying that you believe that inherent in the video is that Donald Trump has given illegal orders.
No, actually, what I will say about...
Because what Abby argues is that they're just stating a fact, but you're saying it's speaking against Trump.
Because they speak out against Trump in other ways.
Then you took the message the way they intended it. You took it the way they intended it, which is that Trump has given illegal orders, and you can't name one and nobody else can.
Hold on. Let me just say that. Congress has a role in ensuring that there are whistleblower protections when people come out
so
and
you
speak
believe
out
there are illegal
when something...
orders.
I'm not saying there is. I'm saying in the Biden administration. Okay. I'm saying in the Biden administration, there were whistleblowers. In other administrations, there have been whistleblowers. And what happens is Congress's responsibility to ensure that these people have protections wherever you are in the federal government and whether you're in our military. This has happened throughout administrations. So if they have reason to believe that there is something that is unconstitutional,
you believe
should be able to move forward.
I hear you.
And
just to put a bow on it, you believe that it is that you took the message. Democrats are encouraging the military to defy the commander-in-chief over some current orders that you can't name, but you're pretty sure they're illegal.
Here's what I believe. I believe that regardless of the president, no one in our military should actually follow through with unconstitutional orders.
What are they?
That's what I believe. I'm saying regardless.
I don't know.
Regardless of president.
I'm not understanding what Scott's point is.
So Scott believes,
and I don't want to speak for Scott,
Scott believes Trump. Scott believes they're not. No. His whole point is that the root of the matter is what is the illegal order?
That's a great question. And I know you and I have a disagreement about it.
Correct, because I believe the illegal orders are bombing people or using drone strikes illegally in the Caribbean Sea to deter what they're using as the war on drugs. And I think there are many people in this country who believe that that is an illegal order that's violative of the Constitution. And but to Scott's point is, if that's a gray area, and I don't have to, it's like playing devil's advocate, I don't have to make your point, but if there's a gray area, should the military follow it or not? The only point that I have is that you're correct.
Answer, yes.
You're correct. Because this is not a good use of time, a good use of resources. It's only being used to chill speech. And not only that, but United States senators, whether or not it's UCMJ or whether or not it's the First Amendment, they actually have protections for the things they say because they're United States senators and members of Congress.
Sorry, Scott.
Yeah,
the speech or debate clause only protects them when they're performing legislative functions, not when they're out making videos and getting on X. There is no coverage.
How is that not a legislative function?
I'm sorry. The D.C. Circuit's the toughest circuit in the country on this, and they won't give that protection.
How do you know? It hasn't been litigated.
Because I've been in that court on
But it hasn't been litigated. You're making that up. No,
I'm not making up having litigated the
no,
speech
not
or
that
debate
part.
clause.
I know you've been around.
They have a role to ensure that if someone comes forth with information that something is done that was unconstitutional, they have every right to ensure that whistleblower has protections. And what they're telling the military is if something that is unconstitutional, then come forth and we will protect you.
And if they're doing that in their capacity, let's say they're on the Armed Services Committee, for example, to stay with your example, then they very well could, in performing those functions, have the speech or debate protection. They do not have it when they go out and make public announcements. You don't get it for that. You don't get it for dealing with your constituents.
So you don't get
it for dealing with federal
agencies. You don't get
agencies.
it at a town hall meeting?
No.
Oh, wow. That's
no,
crazy.
No, you don't.
That's crazy.
Hey, look,
tell Nancy Mace that. Tell Nancy Mace that.
Hey, look. That'd be fun. I know, hometown, right? But look, that's just the case law. That's what the Supreme Court has said, not Ken Cuccinelli.
But I do think that whether that is true or not would need to be litigated. But I also think that separate from that, I mean, this comes back to the basic question about speech. Is it okay for anybody in this country to say, whether they're a senator or not, that, hey, if you're in the military, you shouldn't follow illegal orders? So let's put aside their role for just a second. Is that an okay thing to say in this country, or is that a seditious act?
That is an okay thing to say. For
so
you
then
to
why
say,
is
for
it
me
okay
to say,
for?
but wait, let me finish it out.
But hold on. But why is it that it's okay for me to say, but the FBI is knocking on the door of five members of Congress who are in the House and the Senate, and one who is also a former member of the military? Why?
Right. And of course, I zeroed in on the one that's the former member of the military because the coverage for him is entirely different for the others. And I agree with you that I think we just watched Kash Patel explain the standard for an investigation. I think these questions are going to get asked and they're going to be ended.
But you can
that may
not
be true.
I'm not even
for Mark
sure
Kelly
what is even the law that would be broken.
What you're seeing is Pete Hegseth being out of his depth. That's what you're seeing. And you see it on Twitter. You see the back and forth. I guess it's called X now. And you see Pete Hegseth literally going at an American war hero. Democrat, Republican, you don't have to like any of his votes. Mark Kelly is a hero. And what he's doing right now is he's elevating Mark Kelly to another level politically. And I think Mark Kelly and everybody else is embracing that. For a long period of time, the politics are Gavin Newsom was the front runner for the Democratic nomination. But now people are learning about Mark Kelly because this is not fair. Pete Hegseth does not have the intellectual capacity or the military record to debate somebody like Mark Kelly. He just does not.
All right, we got to leave it there. Next for us, a call between Trump's envoy and the Russians gets leaked, including his advice for how best for Vladimir Putin to speak to President Trump. Plus, is Trump's big healthcare plan just extending Obamacare for a couple of years? Well, that's exactly what the Democrats demanded. We'll debate that as well.